Years before, yeah, they were not powerful, but these days it has a lot of horsepower. So one of the side effects of this is you can create a really interactive applications. So let's say if you want to do some complex operations like sorting, filtering, paging, or dynamically making some changes to the template. Now if you have to do this at server side, every time you have to do this operation, you send some data to the server, and then you do this at the server side, you're overloading the server, and then you get back the data. So you can reduce this traffic by doing everything at client side, because these days the machines are really faster, and when you do this at client side, you can create a really interactive application. Just imagine you do server side paging, when you go from one page to another page, if the server is overloaded, it takes a lot of time to get the response. So where do I get the jQuery template from? You can either get this from jQuery.com, but if you want to get the latest bits and pieces, you may want to get this from GitHub. This is where the development team checks in the source code. And if you want to use this on your test machine or in your production server, then instead of downloading this on your server, you can directly refer this to a CDN, and it's currently hosted in ASP.NET CDN. And if you are a NuGet user, and if you are kind of addicted to using NuGet for everything, then the syntax is install package jQuery.templates. Now with that, we will directly jump into the demo. And so what I have here is a simple, let's say this is an online store where we have a product page where we list some products. So what we will see in this entire presentation is we'll work on this one particular page, and we'll progressively enhance this page. In each stage, we'll use various features of jQuery templates, and we'll make it better and better. So we have a product. So we have a product name. We have this price, a little description of the product, and then a picture of the product. So let's see how to do this if we do not use jQuery templates. Let's see how we do this today. Is this visible to everybody? Is this font okay? Okay. So essentially I have a HTML5 doc type. It can be any doc type, but I'm using HTML5 here. And I'm referencing this jQuery core library, which is in my scripts folder. Here is my jQuery core library, and I'm using a custom CSS so that I get this nice green background, and all the product has this nice nice border, and I have this product title which is defined here, and we'll come back to this container, and here is where I have defined my JSON data. So essentially it's a product array where I have a product name, a price of the product, picture, and a description. So I have this array of products. Okay. So what we do today, if we don't use jQuery template, is essentially we loop through the products array, and then we build this HTML string. Okay. And then finally, so I have defined here a div with ID product container. So I grab this div using ID selector, and then use the append, and to this div I append the generated HTML. So one of the biggest problem with this is, let's say if I want to add something in between, then you have to be really careful so that you don't miss a double quote, there's very good chances that you might miss it. And now this is just like maybe like 4 or 5 lines, but if we have this really big templates, let's say like 50 or 60 lines of code, and then if you have to do something in between, then it becomes really complex. So let's see how to do the same page using jQuery template. Okay. So everything is same. The only new addition here is I'm referencing the jQuery template here. jQuery temple.min.js, which is defined here, which is in my scripts folder. Okay. So the same header products, same container. We'll come back to this. Here is where I have defined my templates. The same JSON data. The only difference here is you will see that I have defined my template within a script block. Now if you observe carefully, you will see that the script block has a MIME type text/HTML. This is an unknown MIME type. So this is exactly what we want. This can be anything. This can be text/ggmod. You can give anything. So what happens is when you give an unknown MIME type, browser will ignore that entire thing. So when browser comes to this, it is going to ignore this entire template. And this is the behavior which we want, because we want this template to be interpreted by our template library. Okay? So you'll see that everything is under a div, and then the name parameter, the product name, is enclosed within $curly braces. Now this is the mantra, guys. So this is how the template works. You have to enclose the attributes which you want to display within a $curly braces. So you will see the same thing for price as well. And in between name and price, there's a small dash here. So name and price. Okay. And the image for the products is coming from the products folder, followed by the picture name, which is defined within the products array. And then we have this regular description. So let's run. Okay. Now the important part. So now that we have defined the template, this line does all the magic for you. So essentially what we do is we grab the product template, which is defined here, and then we use the temple function, which is defined within the template library. To it, we pass these products. So this alone thing, what we have done is basically we grab the template, we grab the products, and then we use the temple function to generate the HTML. Now we want to inject this generated HTML somewhere. So we basically use the append to and append this to this div, which is defined over here. So let's run this. So the output is, of course, same, but this time, behind the scenes, we are using jQuery template. So as you can see, it is fairly like HTML. Anybody who has worked with HTML can directly work with this now. And one of the biggest problem what we have with string concatenation is that when it grows really big, it becomes really difficult to maintain that code. Now in this demo, you have seen that I have declared products array within the HTML. But in a real world, you may want to get the data from your server, and you can use the AJAX to get the data. So let's say you are a web form developer. Let's see how to do the same thing if you're a web form developer. So if you look at the source, everything is same, nothing has changed here. We have the same doc type, same scripts. The template is same. The only thing that has changed here is this part. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's look at the code behind file first. So here I have a method called as get products, and basically this is a page method. So if you are a web form developer, you might be aware of the page method. So in order to create a page method, you have to decorate this with web method attribute, and the method has to be static. So what we have done here is we have declared a product class which has a name, price, picture, and description. And here we are creating a list of product, and then we are returning this to the client. So here, when I'm doing an Ajax to call this page method. So I do an Ajax and then call the get products method, which is defined in web form.aspx, this form. And when this Ajax is successfully, when it's successfully executed, this anonymous function gets called. So this data, what we are building over here, will be passed to this function as a parameter. So the products variable will have the actual data which is coming from the server. And then we do the same thing like what we did in the previous demo. We grab the template, use the temple method, pass the products, and then append to the container. So let's run this. So this is our web form, and so essentially same thing, but this time the data is now coming from the server. So if you are a MVC, ASP.NET MVC developer, let's see how you do this. So I have defined my model here, the product class which you saw in the web form. It's exactly the same thing. And then I have a home controller. And within my home controller, I have a get products action method, which builds the product list and then returns to the client in the form of JSON. So this is our controller, and let's see how the view looks like. So if you see the view, everything is same. We refer the script block, we have defined the container, this is our template. We do a Ajax post. We call the get products action method, which is defined in the home controller. And once this is successfully executed, this method gets called. So the products which is returned from the server will be in this variable. So we grab the template, apply the product which is coming from the server, and append this to the container. So let's run this. Okay, so from the URL you can make out that this is a MVC application, and we did exactly the same thing. So now that we know the basics, let's enhance this by using various features of the jQuery templates. So from now on, for simplicity, I will use the HTML instead of doing server side, so that I don't have to go around multiple files and switch over, so everything is just in one file. But now you know that you can do this using server-side technologies as well. So here I have defined the product name, cheese. It would be nice if I can capitalize this. So if you look at the template, so the first thing you will see that you can use HTML comments within your product, within your templates. So when your template grows really big, it's better that you use some kind of comments, so that when you come back later to the same template, you know what you were doing. So you can use the regular standard HTML comments within the template. And then if you see the name, I'm using the standard JavaScript function to uppercase. Okay? So essentially what I'm trying to show here is that within the expression you can use any standard JavaScript function. Okay?